Hey guys, so I promised some squishy circuits information. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration here for you. You can actually buy these kits online, but you don't need to. You can use what you already have or some parts that you could reuse for other things. So I'm just going to be using some Play-Doh, regular Play-Doh, because Play-Doh is conductive. And then I'm going to be using some modeling clay, not made of water, so that they are not conductive. So use that as your insulator. So it gives you a good chance to talk about insulators and conductors. And then I'm going to just be using one of these big green light bulb here. And then you're just going to need 4 batteries for this. So you can buy a battery pack that holds 4 batteries. I don't happen to have one of those with me right now. So what I've done is I've wired, I'm going to show you here, I've wired 2 double A battery packs together. So I'm using 4 batteries, but I've wired them together in a series. So you can see what I've done here. So I've got 2 battery packs here. And what these battery packs do, which I don't know if we've discussed, is that they are already wired together in a series where there's batteries that are actually end to end. So the positive end is connected to the negative end of the next battery. And then what I've done here is I've got 2 of them together. So I'm taking my positive end of one battery pack and connecting it to the negative end of the other battery pack here, so that I'm multiplying the amount of voltage that's going to be coming through into my light bulb. And you need that because the Play-Doh is conductive, but it's not as conductive as the wire. So it does take a little bit of, it adds a little bit of resistance to your electricity. So normally what I would have the kids do is you give them a 4 battery pack with a switch on it. Maybe you give that to them last actually, but you have them roll out 2 kind of worms or snakes here and 2 different colors of Play-Doh to represent wires. And you can talk about how you can use Play-Doh as wires then. And then you're going to have them designate colors. So one is the positive and one is the negative, and you want them running in parallel lines pretty close together here. And then you're going to have them put their LED in, and you can again show them that the longer leg is the positive leg and the shorter leg is the negative leg, and you're going to have them separate. So I'm going to say that this is the yellow is my positive, so I'm going to put the longer leg into that, and the orange is my negative, so I'm going to put the shorter leg into there. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure my batteries are off, the switches are off, and I'm going to take the red or positive lead from my battery pack and stick it into the other side of the Play-Doh, so it's not touching the wire of the LED or the lead of the LED. We're using the Play-Doh as the conductive wire here. I'm going to take my negative and stick it into the orange Play-Doh, just like that. And when I turn, I'm going to have to do 2 switches here. When I turn my switch on, you can see that my light comes on. So this is a really fun way for them to learn about conductors and insulators and circuits. And you can say, okay, well, what will happen now if I have my Play-Doh touching, right? Even if I made like a little bridge and I had my Play-Doh touching like this, you'll see the light can go out. That's because those LEDs have polarity, and the electricity has to be flowing in one direction only, and we don't want to short circuit it by making it go out like that. So then what you can have them do is you can take some modeling clay, and you can have them make another log here, and you can have them choose one of the Play-Doh wires to replace. So if I take this one out and I put my modeling clay in, and then I turn my switches on, you'll see it doesn't light up. Nothing lights up, nothing happens, and that's because modeling clay is an insulator and not a conductor like Play-Doh. So modeling clay is the best for this, but you can actually use this as an insulator and put it between the 2, like this, and then stick the wires in. And you can see now it works because that even though these are touching, it's not short-circuiting it, because the modeling clay should be an insulator. So it's really neat, because then what you can do is you can have them make all kinds of creations. So like, let's say they wanted to make a butterfly, right? They can make these butterfly wings like this, and this is the body of the butterfly is going to be my modeling clay. I like modeling clay because it never dries out. You can just keep reusing it over and over again. All right, and then I'm going to have, you know, his little antenna sticking up here. Put my things back together, and there you go. Your light lights up again. So you can have them do all kinds of neat things with this. Make sure you always turn your batteries off at the end and collect your batteries. But that is squishy circuits. You're using Play-Doh as your conductor, and you're using modeling clay as your insulator in between, and showing them how there's electricity flows in only one direction, and how there's polarity in batteries and in LEDs, and that it won't work if you have the negatives and the positives touching each other. So it's a good way to show that, and it's fun. And it's pretty easy to do. So there you go, squishy circuits.